WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our website, www.wvtcdetroit.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit and the Community Bell Show with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner, Edna Bell. Stay tuned for insightful information Detroiters will find valuable. Text a friend and tell them to watch with you for news you can use. And now, your host, Edna Bell.
Hello, hello, hello. It is Monday at 4 o'clock, so it must be the Community Bell Show. Thank you so much for joining us on this sunny and warm Monday. It's almost like we're schizophrenic. You know, we had 3 or 4 inches of snow last Friday, and here we are, 67 degrees today. But you know what? I don't mind. I like the 60-something degrees. I'll take it any day. But welcome to the Community Bell Show, Stellar Award-winning WVTC Radio Detroit. We are so pleased that you have chosen to join us this afternoon. Before I introduce our guests, let me just say thank you again to all those wonderful people who helped me celebrate my 80th birthday. It was simply a wonderful event. So people, thank you that I hadn't seen for years. And it was just really, really a great event. And to my daughters who planned and pulled it off, Thank you, lovely daughters, Alicia and Sonia. But I still say we didn't have to have a day party. For those of you who don't know, they told me that. I said, gee, it's in the daytime. And they said, yes, mother, it's a day party because 80-year-old people don't need to be outside driving at night. So I thought, well, how about you? I'm still the mother here. But they just were too funny, but they did a simply wonderful job in organizing and taking care of everything it took for that. I just really, really appreciate them. They are marvelous daughters. I am so blessed to have them. They really are wonderful. My second thank you goes to Women's Informal Network, my women's group that celebrated its 25th Women's History Luncheon this past Saturday. Another packed house, wonderful ladies. I had the opportunity to be one of the speakers, along with Sandra Coleman and Sharon Madison. So thank you for that win. I appreciated you so much. And my daughter, Alicia, was the MC. So thanks to Pat Cole for creating that organization 30 years ago. Insightful, visionary, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lady. And then the second thank you goes to Stephanie Imani Harris. She hosted the Rosa Parks Foundation celebration on yesterday at the Detroit Yacht Club, and I was one of the honorees last evening. And so thank you, Imani, for that. I appreciate you. It was a wonderful event. We've got such marvelous ladies, African American ladies in our community. These ladies, ladies you probably would never know, but they are all absolutely incredible, have done wonderful things. And I just want to say thank you to Imani Harris for that. And it was a pleasure for me to meet many of these ladies that I had not met before. I think I only knew one or two of them, but they were ladies that are very accomplished. One was a midwife and a nurse and has been helping and still helping young ladies have healthy deliveries. I mean, one is a poet. She was a poet laureate of Flint, Michigan. Wonderful ladies. Just some wonderful, wonderful ladies. So thank you, Imani Harris, for that honor of being an honoree of the Rosa Parks Foundation on yesterday. Now, special guest today. Special guest, another one of those ladies whose name you don't hear all the time that has been doing the work for years and years and years. Does wonderful work, has put together a publication and has done it for almost 20 years now. Along with that, something that she has done before and may be coming back, everybody, is something called the Thank You Awards that I had the pleasure of helping a few years, helping her with that effort. It's a wonderful event where she just thanks people who do good work in the area. Just thanks people. And it's kind of a nice touch to have somebody say thank you when you don't even expect you're going to get an award. So that's just a wonderful piece. So my guest today is Miss Beverly Smith. Beverly, welcome to the Community Bell Show.
Well, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here, and thanks for inviting me.
Well, I'm so glad to have you. So glad to have you. You know, we talked about the paper. Talk about what made you decide to do a publication, because that is not an easy task.
You're right. Well, the first thing I was trying to do was to do a directory of Black businesses in the city. That was years ago, if you guys kind of remember Walter Johnson, I think it was, that started it. So I wanted to keep it going, but so many of the businesses could not afford to be in it, or they wanted it to be free. So I heard about a lot of the other small businesses in other cities that had directories. And I happened to go to but I went to a convention that they were having and met a couple of gentlemen from Minnesota who was starting a monthly newspaper. So, and they wanted a Detroit publisher, editor. And then I took on that responsibility. And I think a year or two later, that stopped. And in Detroit, you know, when you start something, you don't stop.
No, well, we don't stop. We don't stop. No.
So I said, okay. I didn't know the first thing about producing a newspaper. But I'm one of those that come and say, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
There you go.
So I did my research and I continued the paper. So the paper has been going since 2006.
Wow, isn't that something?
So I have not stopped publishing even during COVID. I'm very proud of the newspaper. We do business profiles. It's a community engagement connector to the city. We do information on just about anything to do with business, whether it's management, financial, resources, real estate. I have actual columnists who are experts in those particular fields who write for the paper.
Wonderful. And it's called?
It's called Detroit Smart Pages.
There you go. Detroit Smart Pages. And we happen to have a copy. Hold it up so
We
they
do
so
happen
they
to
can
have a
see
copy.
it.
Now, formerly, before I changed the name, I got a little smarter. It was called Detroit Black Pages.
Oh,
if
okay.
people can remember. But it's Detroit Smart Pages. This is the current issue that's out right now. And we're working on the next issue, actually starting this week.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Where can they get that if they want to get that?
Well, it's in about 150 locations throughout the city. It's also on our website, www.detroitsmartpages.com. They can look at this issue and past issues if they want to. And if they ever need a copy, they can always contact me. The information is on the website. Perfect. And I can get them a copy.
I love it. That is wonderful. Now, who are some of the people who write for you?
Well, actually, one name you probably know, Charlene Mitchell.
Yes.
Rogers, who used to also have a radio show on 9:10 a.m. I don't know if you know Barbara Brazil. She's an avid writer. Did a lot of work for FEMDA, that support Minority Automobile Association. I have David Rambo, who's a fixture and an icon in the city over the years. He's been writing for me since day one. His piece is called Urban Journeys, and if anybody knows David, he had a very eclectic
way of saying
things. And he's one of the smartest people I know. Gary Smith, I don't know if you know him, but he's been in commercial real estate for over 30 years. So he does give us good information on that. I know a lot of entrepreneurs should know Laura Sigmund. Laura Sigmund has helped so many women and men open up their businesses and keep them to staying in businesses. So we have quite a few experts, as well as Ellis Liddell. Ellis Liddell, financial planner, has been with me from day one.
Yes.
All these years. And they've stuck with the paper, so they see it's a value and an asset to the community.
I haven't seen Ellis Liddell for a long time.
Well, he's been part of the newspaper since 2006.
Wow. I love it.
Yes.
And these are all people, Detroiters, everybody.
All Detroiters.
These are all Detroiters. So they know whence they come and what they're talking about.
Exactly.
So it's a special paper, Detroit Smart Pages. You need to make sure you keep up with it. Find a copy someplace. Go online if you need to, but it's important that you keep up with the information that talks about what goes on in our city. That's an important piece. The other thing now I'd like you to talk about, well, you've got a couple of things. We can talk about whatever you want to, but I got lots of stuff that you do that I want to talk about. But talk about the vitiligo organization that you're a part of.
Well,
and tell people what it is, because a lot of people are not going to know what I'm talking about when I say vitiligo.
Well, if anybody watches TV Fox 2 and know Lee Thomas, who is a national entertainment reporter, Lee Thomas has vitiligo. And he wears makeup on his face only. And that's only because when you're watching and listening to the news, you want to hear what the people are saying, not looking at them and forming opinions and not listening to what they're saying. I was diagnosed with vitiligo in 2015.
Wow.
So I've had vitiligo actually at the age of 67.
Isn't that something?
When I first was diagnosed. And it just, one morning I woke up and I saw a couple of spots on my finger and didn't think nothing of it. And then a few days later, I saw a little spots of something on my lips. Really didn't think nothing of it. Then I said, Beverly, this looks like it could be vitiligo. I just kind of diagnosed myself. I did.
We're good at doing that.
I just diagnosed myself and said, I think I have vitiligo. So I called a gentleman who I knew who was very popular in the city at that time. I'm trying to think of his name. Anyway, I asked him for a referral to a dermatologist. I didn't know about Heidelberg at the time, so he referred me to Heidelberg Dermatology. So I went there, and my appointment I couldn't get until July, and I
Okay.
saw the spots in May. So it's
Mhm.
that many people have skin
Mhm.
ailments and things like that. So yes, she did the biopsy, and it was vitiligo. So in 8, 9 short years, I've completely depigmented. So I'm
Wow.
95 to 96% void of pigment.
Wow.
As
Now
you can,
tell
as
people
you
what
can,
vitiligo is, because they won't know.
yeah,
Mhm.
vitiligo is an autoimmune disease. Some people like to say disorder, where your own skin cells kind of fight against themselves and uh, attack the melanin, which is, that's come from the melanocytes in your skin that
Mhm.
produce the melanin, which gives us our color,
Okay.
which gives us our pigment.
Mhm.
So when that happens, then that's when you see the white patches where where the melanocytes have been
I've
are
taken
gone,
over.
are taken over,
Mhm.
right? So eventually, um, it may not completely take over because I'm just one of the few who basically on its own just demedicated. But a lot of people live their whole lives being just spotted, and it won't completely take over.
Mhm.
So that's actually what vitiligo is. So everybody's vitiligo is different.
Okay.
It all depends on what you're doing in your own life, your environment, what things are going on in your life, whether it's stress. It could be something that happens, a traumatic situation that could bring it on,
Mm.
but it is not curable. There is no
Okay.
cure for it, but there's a lot of treatment, and we work our group. Well, actually, what happened when I realized it was vitiligo, so I told one of my good friends, and she said, "Well, I have a girlfriend that has it also, and she's in a group." So she's the one who told me about the vitiligo support group
Mhm.
that Lee Thomas founded,
Wow.
along with Dr. Henry Lim. A lot of people know him because he's a renowned dermatologist with Henry Ford Hospital.
Mhm.
So they founded the vitiligo group in 2007. So I immediately joined and have been a member ever since.
Oh
I'm
my.
on the leadership committee. We advocate. We've been to Washington, D.C., all over the country,
Mhm.
advocating for vitiligo, trying to get funding for its research and everything with the NIH, which is the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. So we have a community of vitiligans, what we call them.
Wow.
Over 1.5 million people in the world have vitiligo. And actually, a lot of people did not think that Michael Jackson had vitiligo, but he actually did have vitiligo.
Mhm.
And annually, we have a World Vitiligo Day every June,
Oh.
actually, and it's always somewhere around the 25th of June, which is the day that Michael Jackson passed.
Oh wow.
So it's in his honor not his honor, but for people to really know the reason. So we meet with other vitiligo groups all across the country every year. This year it's going to be in Indianapolis.
Oh.
And I will be there with bells on.
Of course.
So, but we really try to support each other because it's not contagious
Mhm.
and it's not life-threatening.
Mhm.
So
And
we
that's
have to
good information
right.
for people to have, because they don't know about it.
They
What
don't
people
know.
don't know about, they're fearful
Right.
of.
But
Mhm.
people, it's stigmatizing
Mhm.
because, and we want to get rid of the stigma that's associated with vitiligo because it is mentally debilitating as well. It could keep you from interaction. It could completely change your life, depending if you have a strong constitution to move forward with your life. And as I said, you can be born with it. It can come at any age, any gender, even animals can have vitiligo. But it's how you accept it or don't accept it.
Yes, and work
And we
through
can't,
it.
right, and you can't make a person accept it. They have to do that on their own terms. But people have been shunned across the world. It's almost like they're treated like if they have leprosy or
I'm
something.
just gonna say that.
So,
Lepers.
so what our groups do, we try to support them and try to comfort them to for them to be able to live with vitiligo. So, and everybody's not able to do that. So I was fortunate to be strong in my whatever I was doing, because I do a lot of community things,
exactly.
and I would not let vitiligo stop me
you
from
doing what you do.
from going out and doing what I do. So I just continue
Yes.
to do what I do, and eventually, and you saw the stages. You've seen the stages. If I
Yes.
changed from one color with the
Yes.
spots to the other, and now you don't even notice it, do you?
No, and you don't even know. I mean,
Right.
it's just
no. I'm just Beverly.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and that's what we want to helpfully help other people with vitiligo become. But you can't always do it because, as I said, it's different for everybody.
It is.
And everybody accepts it differently.
And I'm sure, and that support group, I think, is so important.
Oh, it is.
To be able to help people work through it, and at least to be around others who have the same thing as they do, and children also.
Right.
I think
and
it's
their
so
families.
important. The families.
It's almost like you have to educate the family also about it, so that they can, because it's hard sometimes to tell your family members that you even have it, because sometimes
they don't know what it is. What is that?
Nobody really knows what it is, and they ask you,
or how did you get
how
that?
did you get it?
Yes.
Right. Did anybody in your
that?
family have it? And sometimes you may have people in your family that have it, and sometimes you don't. We don't know anybody in my family that has vitiligo that we know of, but it could be from way back.
Yes.
So you can't rule that out. But this is a strange thing. As I said, sometimes a traumatic situation, stress, it's in you, but things happen in life to bring it out. And actually, in 2015 was the first time that I did the Thank You Awards that you mentioned.
Okay.
So that was the very first one. And I had a lot of corporate partnerships, Quicken Loans, DTE, Fifth Third Bank.
And we were at the gym. Was that at the gym, or that was at
the first one was at the Detroit Golf Club.
Yes.
And then another one was at the gym where you helped. I think you also helped out at the museum as well. So that very first one, because that was the first one, I had all this corporate people supporting, and I was stressed out to make sure it was perfect. And it was right after that I started seeing the vitiligo.
Stress will do strange things,
and people have to be conscious of it, because you don't know that you're stressful, because your stress could be normal to you. That's just what you do. So I just advise everybody to go and get a stress test and just work out things, because not only for vitiligo, but for anything that's going on in your body.
Exactly.
Stress can make it worse. So you have to calm yourself and be educated on what stress can do.
Exactly. And I was at the Heart Association, Women's Heart Association luncheon last week. I'm losing track of which day it was, but it was sometime in the last 2 weeks. And they talked about how stress can cause heart ailments.
Yes.
And you don't even know that you are having that kind of stress, and anxieties and all of those things can contribute to having heart trouble, and particularly in women.
That's true.
And our
more women,
symptoms.
More women die of heart failure than men. And you would think it would be the other way around.
And our symptoms are different than those of men. And so you have to be aware of what the symptoms are for women, as opposed to what they are for men, because they always talk about, your left arm and so on. It could be different.
Was the thing, like when you feel something in your left arm, you probably have heart failure.
It could be different for women than it is for men. And so stress can cause you all sorts of things to happen.
And then a lot of times you have to be mindful yourself, because women, especially Black women, aren't taken seriously when you go to the doctor.
That's the other piece.
You have to be your own monitor for things that's happening with your body, whether it's your body or anything in life. You have to kind of be vigilant.
Exactly. And that was one of the things they also said, is that Black women are not looked at the same way when they come in with certain symptoms. They come in and say, I'm feeling a certain way. Those symptoms are not taken as seriously.
That's right.
As they are with other people. And that's one of the causes also of dying from heart failure, strokes. And the other one, it has to do with people, morbidity, when people have had babies,
Yes.
the mothers, Black women die more often
And
than
postpartum.
postpartum
Mhm.
than any other group of women because they're not taken as seriously.
Yes. So, I mean, it's some steps going on
Mhm.
now, to combat those things since versus Wade.
Mhm.
More, it's looked at more now than it was before. But we as Black women and all women, really, you have to really take your health seriously.
That's right. You have to take it seriously. Don't say, "Oh well, I'll go lay down and I'll be okay." Not always. You may go lay down and not get up.
And just to mention, I have a health component. Just to mention, I have a health component in the paper too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, Smart Health Choices is. She gives so much information about what different herbs you can take to build up your immune system. Whether if you have to take magnesium, whatever it is, she gives very good advice
that's great.
on that. And she's in every issue of the paper as well. Patricia Wright. She does an excellent job on letting us know. And all this with that does not preclude you not seeing your own physician.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. The commission has something called the Wayne County Women's Commission that has been looking at the ailments of Black women as it relates to health, and particularly after have babies and what happens to them. And they had a forum last year that spoke to the numbers of Black women that have died after they had babies because the doctors were not listening to them.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Mm-hmm. And it was frightening, the number of women who have died because of it, and so they are looking to do something to
and now
assist with
it's
that.
a major problem because of the laws in so many states. I think it's about 25 states already have the non-abortion laws and things, and now they're trying to stop the in vitro fertilization. And it's just so much going on. I don't know what it is.
Amazing. And I just wonder
everything is against women now.
Yes, I was just going to say that. And the men are making these decisions. That's what gets me more than anything else. Men don't have a clue about what's going on with women's body.
I was thinking about that today.
And here they are making all these decisions that are negatively impacting women's health.
And they don't even know the reasons why sometimes that women have abortions. They don't even know the reasons. No. It's much more than just I want to have an abortion. So it's a health.
Absolutely.
Reason.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, we need to continue to fight that fight and to make sure that women can make the decisions about what happens with their body.
Yes.
And not have a group of old men making decisions about what you will and will not be able to do with your body. And sometimes
you think about, don't they have wives? I mean, what about their own wives and granddaughters and daughters? Seem like somebody would say,
sit them down and say, okay, come let me talk to you for a minute.
That's what I don't understand.
Let me talk to you and share some things with you. Because obviously you've got the wrong impression of what's really going on. But, and I don't know why it doesn't happen. Clearly it doesn't happen because these men are still trying to make these crazy decisions.
And the laws are still becoming more and more prevalent across the country.
But I guess I would say that if these men are making those decisions, unfortunately, maybe the women, and this is just my speculation now, I don't have any proof that says this, but the women in their lives are women who have always gone along with whatever it is they said.
Or it hasn't happened to them yet.
Exactly.
It hasn't happened to them
or their daughter, their granddaughters. And so they, so, he said so it must be okay. Well, there are a few Black women that you will find that will simply go along because the man said so. We will challenge. And that's good for us and good for our daughters and our granddaughters. I've got daughters. I've got a granddaughter. Fortunately, none of them would be accepting any of that nonsense. That's just not what we do.
And we have to make sure because they are the next generation. Because we're still doing, but we've done almost as much as we can. So we have to educate them, which is what WIN is about. Trying to educate the younger women to be more involved in politics and things that's going on in your community. So So it's a lot of work yet to be done.
Oh my
And I don't
gosh,
think
yes,
it's
so
ever,
much to be
ever going to
done.
end.
So much to be done, but we've got to continue to find ways to get to the young women and help them know how important they are and what their value is, that they are valuable.
Yeah, I think they're speaking along college campuses. I have a granddaughter that's in college, and
Mhm.
I think you have one going.
Well,
What
a grandson who
son
start,
going.
he's
Right.
as a matter of fact, I got stair steps. Once the one graduates
Yeah.
here, there'll be one coming every year for the
Right.
next 3 years. So I'm going to be at somebody's graduation, and once the first one graduates, the other ones will start graduating from college. So
Yeah.
it'll be going on for the next few years. I'll be at somebody's graduation, and you have to know that these young ladies need our support.
They do. They don't know it,
No, they don't know it. So we need
but
because they know everything. Unfortunately, sometimes they know it all.
Yeah, but we know where that got us by thinking that we knew it all. Yeah.
So we need to continue to find ways to support them and help them think through things on their own. But they need to have the knowledge and the skills to be able to do that.
Yeah, and that's what I try to do in the paper too, is give information on just about all those topics. We touch on them in the paper on a lot of those things as well. So,
and then that is so important because I know that young people don't always read, and we need to continue to find ways to help them know that you've got to read. You have got to read so that you can understand not only what's going on today, but you got to know your history.
yes.
You've got to read so that you understand why something happened today. That's because something happened yesterday or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. But you need to be able to read and understand your history and know why things are going on today so that you are able to respond to people when they say certain things. Because sometimes when they say things, you don't have a comeback because you don't know.
Right. And to be a part of the change, in order to be a part of the change, you have to know what it is. So, so we do have a duty to young women, not even just teenagers, but, in their 30s even.
Oh, yeah.
To, make sure that they are engaged in what's going on.
Because some of them didn't get the information.
No.
and they've gotten to be 30, 35, and they still don't know. So we still need to try to help them go back and explain to them what happened back in the 1990s.
Right.
And that sounds so strange to say back in the 1990s.
I know, it was strange
Oh,
to
my
say back in
goodness.
the 1960s. Now it's just in the 90s.
Girl, I'm telling you, it's just really strange to talk about that as being a long time ago. Wow. How about
That's
that?
true.
So I guess the older we get,
we're still learning too.
We're still learning too. We are still learning too. And again, as we depart that knowledge and support each other as we do that, it's so important that we continue to have each other's back, support each other in efforts that are good efforts, or things that are going to be good for our community. That to me is one of the biggest things we need to do. Sometimes we don't do that as well as we should, and we need to find ways to do that. Everybody find a way to support each other, support each other. Talk about another subject that you're involved in, and that is Keep Michigan Beautiful. Is that
keep Michigan Beautiful, Keep Detroit Beautiful. Well, I actually started off with Keep Detroit Beautiful in 2001. Kay Everett brought it back from years ago because Keep Detroit Beautiful was actually formed back in the 50s. We were a part of Keep America Beautiful at that time. And actually, Detroit was at one time one of the cleanest cities in America. We got an award for that.
Yes.
So it was very, very.
Jackie, you hear that?
It was. We were. If some can remember, there were teen. Keep Detroit teens.
Yes.
So we had a lot of teenagers that were involved. So I joined when Kay brought it back in 2001. So I immediately joined her task force. It was a task force under the city council. So I was appointed head of the beautification committee. So we did a lot of things with the courts as far as garbage collection and things like that. And I think they even had a court of appeals that we've formed through Keep Detroit Beautiful. And then when she passed, I was real active in it along with several other people. I then asked at the time another council person to take it over, and she did. So in 2005, I was still over the beautification committee, and I created the actual flower giveaway that they're still doing right now.
Really? Okay.
Where we give free flowers to nonprofit community organizations, block clubs, churches, some small businesses. And I started that back in 2005, and it's still going on today.
Yes, it is.
The city became involved with doing it, I think about maybe 8 or 9 years ago, maybe not quite that long. And then we had another young lady from the city, from Gidra, actually, and that's the resource recovery and resource division that handled all the waste and everything. Angela Ireland was became the director of Keep Detroit Beautiful, because I was just a citizen volunteering, doing a lot of things. So she's the director of it now. And I think last year the city gave away about 90,000 flats of flowers.
Yeah.
But that was a program that I actually created.
Isn't that great? Well, they give them away, and the community groups love them. And
so it's fun. They get the flowers every year, and I'm glad the city is continuing doing it. And I also joined Keep Michigan Beautiful in 2005 as well. A board member from Keep Michigan Beautiful came to one of our Detroit Keep Beautiful meetings. We used to have them downtown. So she came to one of our meetings, and afterwards she invited me to join Keep Michigan Beautiful. So I did. So I've been a member of that for 18 years.
Wow.
And now I am the current president of Keep Michigan Beautiful.
All right. Very good. Congratulations.
And Keep Michigan Beautiful is a statewide organization. And we have board directors from all across the state. And what we do, we educate on beautification. And actually in 1962 was when Keep Michigan Beautiful was the official anti-littering, litter prevention and beautification organization for the state of Michigan under Governor Swainson.
Oh, wow.
Way back. When.
Oh, my goodness.
So we used to get funding from the state, but now we don't get any funding from anybody. So we have to raise our own money. But we do have so many dedicated board directors who've been with KMB for years. And they're so dedicated to this organization. So when they pass on, they bequeath money to Keep Michigan Beautiful. So I'm very proud of this organization. And we have recognized over 3,500 environmental projects, cleanups, whether you're doing a river cleanup, whether you're doing a neighborhood cleanup, whether you're restoring an old building, anything that has to do with restoration, beautification, and environmental and historic preservation, we look for these all over the state, and we award them every year in October.
Wow.
So we've had so many people from southeastern Michigan in this area to receive awards. So that's something we look forward to every year.
Well, I'm so sorry that the state doesn't fund Keep Michigan Beautiful anymore.
I'm on a mission to.
When I look at some of our expressways, particularly the entrance and exit ramps, good Lord, there are certain ramps that I use all the time. People just stop the car at the light and just throw junk out the window. That is just amazing to me. And
people do it not only on highways, but on regular streets and byways.
Yes,
right in
they
city.
just stop and
so
throw
it's really
stuff out the window. It's amazing
for people to have an understanding of why a clean environment, a beautiful environment, has a lot to do with your mental ability and children to live in a clean environment, so they can think better and clearly when they see beauty and not trash and torn buildings and dilapidated buildings along the street. So it really has something to do with their
whole mental capacity.
Exactly.
It does. And I know that the city is right now on this big push to clean the freeways and clean the entrances and exit ramps, because we've got the NFL draft coming. But I'm hoping that they continue.
Do that when something
every time there's something big coming, we run out, we want to clean everything up.
It needs to be done
once
all the time.
We
It's
go
right
back to the same old
go
thing.
back.
So we need to find a way to keep pushing them to do that. And when I was a county commissioner, we had a crew that cleaned the freeways, and they were
I remember them.
low level offenders,
Mhm.
nonviolent offenders, and that was part of their restitution.
And the medium along 8 Mile Road, I would see them there. And as you said, along the freeways, you would see them picking up the
Yes,
trash.
that's
And now you don't. So
and I've got to find out why, because something happened that doesn't allow us to do that. And I've got to ask Alicia and some of the other commissioners why it stopped.
some government reason or something why.
And how we can get it back, because some of those young people who are in the detention facility probably need to be out there cleaning something up. Instead of sitting in the detention facility all day doing whatever it is they do. But they need to be out there doing something physical, getting some more exercise,
And not only that,
and paying back. That to me is a part of paying back.
but not only that, that's a good help. But then our own people that live in the neighborhoods, they need to have some incentive to do that, to keep their neighborhoods and things clean.
Exactly.
That's why I started the flower giveaway, because we had so many block clubs and older people out there doing things. So I wanted to reward them for what they were doing. So we first had a luncheon, a big luncheon with Kay Everett and everything before she passed. And then, because we used to have a part of the police department, the enforcement part, and used to be a name called the Dumpster Divas. I don't know if you remember.
I do remember that.
The Dumpster Divas were part of our Keep Michigan, Keep Detroit Beautiful task force. So we were real into it and everything. So that's how I got the idea about doing the flowers.
Yes, and it makes so much sense.
And so, and I'm so proud of that program too, because we have not stopped giving away the flowers.
And it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. People look forward to it.
Yes, they do.
They look forward to that. And one of the things that one of our callers just said, that there's no retribution for throwing trash out. You throw it out, nothing happens to you.
Nothing happens. Well, there is.
So we need to find a way.
I think it's a department, and maybe you can call the Department of Neighborhoods. I think it is something that could be done about it, but you just have to know the right department in the city to call.
Well,
So
when you throw it out and you're driving, though, I'm talking about the freeway.
You can't do anything about throwing it out.
Well, it's somebody. I see. I'll bet that if we were on 696 in Southfield or Macomb County, and somebody threw some crap out on those entrance and exit ramps, somebody would do something about it.
Well, yeah, you have to have the interest, right? Yeah. They say, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes. So we need. I need to find out why we stopped having the low-level, nonviolent persons who serving time.
Well, that's a good question.
So I'll find that out. Everybody report to you as to what happened and see if we can't get that going again, because it just makes so much sense.
And not only did we do the flowers, we would have vegetables and things too.
Really? Okay.
Right. We had, so if they wanted to, plant broccoli and tomatoes and
the urban farms did.
Well, we did that through our giveaway thing too. We added vegetables and plants and things to the flowers, so where they can maybe pick up a flat of vegetables and another 3 or 4 flats of flowers. So we had a combination.
That would, because I used to plant flowers in my tomatoes in my backyard. Tomatoes,
strawberries,
green beans, all of that.
Everything. So we were doing that as well. But I don't know now if the city, now that I'm involved in a lot of other things, I don't know if they're only giving away flowers or not. So I'll try to find out.
Yeah, we need to find that out. Now, I want you to one more time tell people how they can get Detroit Smart Pages.
Well, you can go to the website, DetroitSmartPages.com. Phone number is there. If I can give out the phone numbers,
Go right ahead.
Everybody calls me, so they can just call me 313-268-3523. Again, that's 313-268-3523. They can visit our website at www.detroitsmartpages.com for the current issue as well as past issues. If you have any question, if you have a business that you want us to do a profile on, or you want to do some advertising, we have very affordable prices for small businesses. I do specials all the time. And And if you have something you want to start up, then there's information in the paper. I can refer you who to call if you want to be an inspiring entrepreneur. So it's so many resources that I can help you with just by calling me or visiting the website.
Wonderful. And can you think offhand of any locations, physical locations where the papers might be?
Yeah, Wayne County Community Colleges.
Oh, great.
Both locations. We had them even at the Wayne County courts downtown as well. The African American Museum.
Perfect.
Activity Center.
Northwest
Activity Center.
Okay.
Just about all the stores, churches.
Okay.
Just about anywhere.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Now I am redoing my list for the website because a lot of businesses didn't open back after COVID. So the list of locations will be on the website shortly. So in a couple of days, you can go to the website and get the locations where you can pick up the paper. And as I said, you can always call me and I can have something delivered to you or dropped off to you at any time.
Perfect. Love it. Beverly, thank you so much for joining me.
Well,
I'm so glad
your
wealth
you
of knowledge
me.
and information, and we have to have you back to continue to talk about the vitiligo and the Keep Michigan Beautiful.
As well as the newspaper.
Yes. And the thank you awards.
And the thank you
awards. Yes.
Now, if I have just a minute to.
Oh, you absolutely do.
On April the 11th, Keep Michigan Beautiful is having our annual Celebrate Spring Luncheon. So you can call and get information for that. It's held right here in Southeastern Michigan, and it's the beginning of Michigan Cleanup Days. The governor always is the, not the founder, but our special, program part of that organization as well for that. And then on April 27th, our vitiligo group was the recipient of an award to host Vitiligo Shines Sun Protection Strategy Forum. And we will be giving information on what do you have to do to protect your skin from the sun. So, and that's not only for people with vitiligo.
Everybody needs to hear that.
Everybody. And it's free. It's absolutely free. You'll be served breakfast and lunch.
Where and what time?
It's April the 27th from 8:30 from 8:30 to 4 at Carp Diem. It's right around the corner from this radio station. So just call my number 313-268 for more information. And it's a free event. And you can register on Eventbrite. Just look for Eventbrite V Strong Vitiligo Forum. April 27th.
So we've got April 27th for the Vitiligo Forum. And to talk about why you need sunscreen, everybody, whether vitiligo has nothing to do with you not using sunscreen. Not
protecting our skin.
Protect your skin.
Should always protect
everybody
our skin.
Needs your
everybody.
Yes. And then the other event is Keep Michigan Beautiful.
Annual spring luncheon and kick off to Michigan Cleanup Days. And that's April the 11th. And that's at the Gazebo Banquet Hall in Warren, Michigan.
Okay.
That's only $20.
You got it?
And the lunch is fabulous.
All right. Very good. Very good. Thank you so much for bringing us all that information. Just sharing information that you have and all the things you've done. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you too. And I just want to say I was at your 80th birthday party and it was a blast.
It was. I had a ball. Wasn't it great? I'm telling you, it was a really, really good time. Just blessed to be able to have had that event and to be walking around. And now I got to tell a secret. I had those heels on.
I remember when you took them off.
I said, should I? And took them off. I told my grandson, bring me my flat shoes, sweetheart. Now these are flat shoes now. Enough with these 5-inch heels. I'm done. But it was a great day.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. Everybody, join me next Monday at 4:00 for the Community Bell Show. It gotta be there. Gotta be there. We love having you. 4:00 on Monday. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. This This broadcast was brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern to the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit.
Hi, I'm Edna Bell. Please watch me on WVTC Radio Detroit at 4 o'clock every Monday. WVTC Detroit is your place to be. Edna Bell, the Community Bell Show. I'm your host.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.